Struggling in Star Trek. It's your boy Rogue here. I should have came on here just a few minutes ago so that you could see the last few things that I have to do to make this work. As you can see right now, my main Corso over here, he's sitting there full life. He's sitting there buffed. He's sitting there with more loot than his ship can actually even hold. If you go in for a real scan of it, you can see. Hang on, let me get down to it. His cargo capacity is 270,000. His protected cargo is 23,000. And you can see that's clearly over 270,000. Got 1.57 million of the target chaos module that I was trying to get onto there. The rest of this stuff that you can see is sitting beside it is just stuff where I went to go dial my life down. I could only hit so many. Here, I can show you my logs actually. I can only hit hostiles for so long at a certain size, you know. Hang on. You can see all the ones I had to check too, I guess. Okay, see, I found out early on that these were doing about 3 million damage for each one of these. So when my life got below 3 million, see, 2.5, I wasn't going to chance it by trying that some more. So at this point, I had to move from that location to, I wish that would stay. Where's it at? No. Where's it at? Normally I go out to Voyager Land, see how much rewards that gives me and see how it didn't hurt me at all. 2.49 million was my life bar down here at the bottom left. And then, I didn't even check the next one because I knew 2.49 million. Again, you see it. 2.49 million. I found out that those weren't hurting me, but they weren't really filling me so successfully either. So I did try to move around a little bit. Hang on. Unfortunately, in Voyager Land, to feel like that, you know, if you go above 40, you're going to start getting broken parts, and then it's only going to give you a few dozen of those or whatever. So normally what I'll do is I'll try and fill as much as I can. At this point, I was starting to get a little bored. A half full. But yeah, normally what I'll do is see how that's taking a big gap right there. It went down from, it did about 400,000 points worth of damage to me right there. So I went checking more. And then I realized that I could no longer, you know, I was getting close. You know, each one was doing a couple 100,000, and I didn't like that. So I went down to things that just did 10,000 damage. 10,000 damage. But as you can see, the rewards weren't filling me really. Once I got everything dialed all the way down, see, it got down to about this, and I was like, well, I'm going to try and go fill up the rest of my cargo. So I go back to Voyager Land, babies, you know, dialing it off for the last little bit. As you can see right through here. And normally used to my life bar didn't turn into a skull down here until I got to 5,000 or 10,000. It was something like that. It would turn to a skull. And, you know, I knew that was normally when I would go and pass to people. Well, now my skull appears at about 15,000. And sometimes, you know, that's still enough to kill people. So, what I'll have to do when I get a skull is right here. I count that 3.2 thousand, and I've, you know, it was 16. What was, I don't know. It was 16 point something, and I didn't want to chance it anymore. So, you know, I knew it was right at 10,000. I knew I was going up against a buddy of mine that was probably crewed well, and I could cherry toast him and Mantis myself to make it more, you know, prominent. As you can see right here, I busted this random base that I found so that I could, hang on. The second time I used my already full ship to confirm that he was still busted. You can see in the log. Oh, I guess I did have to see. That's why I do that. The second time I confirmed the bust. After the 10-minute peace shield comes on, it's minuscule damage amounts. If you look, I took 10,000 hull damage right there, 11,000 hull damage. But that would have been enough to pop that ship. As you heard me say, I was at about 10,000, 12,000 or whatever, and the skull appeared at 15,000. I'm assuming. So yeah, one single. If I would have tried that with the ship I wanted to fill up, it would have popped. But see, the third one, because I popped him the first time, 10-minute shield, I confirmed that he was still popped, and then when I hit him, there's no battle log because he was dead. And then I got to get all this loot off of him, filling me. Well, that's weird that it doesn't show my bar over here but yeah. And then you see all my cargo go missing, even though he couldn't take it. Because a pass works different than a steal does. Everybody in this game, Star Trek Fleet Command, I don't understand. I watched the show. I grew up admiring the people that they would risk their own professions. They would risk their own lives to help people that they didn't even know. Sometimes even people that they were battling just moments before then. And they did so because it was the right thing to do. They didn't do it for the accolades. They definitely didn't do it to pursue their own, you know what I mean? And I just grew up admiring that. And I find it so weird that on this game, people that are 70 ops sometimes, they won't need probes anymore. I don't need probes. I haven't needed fucking probes since I was level 40, I guess. I've had an abundance my whole entire game. But, I'm a little bit, I don't know, exceptional, I guess. I can think different than most people do. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, anybody that's level 70 ops, they don't need probes. Yet, I've seen them countless times come into this space and just hit people. Just to. I mean, when you do stuff like that, you're sitting there and you're making the server weakened, I believe. They believe, I'm pretty sure, that they're making the weak people quit and, good riddance, making a server merge happen. I don't know. I don't understand fully. But, yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of areas in this game where people have struggled with. And, I mean, unfortunately, if you're struggling with freebooters, I can tip you crew. I mean, the freebooters don't really have a loot that I can give you. And other places like, I'm trying to think, the Zindi battleships, they'll give you these tokens, these chips or whatever. And I can't give you those either because they come in these little item chests right here, instead of actually dropping into your ship's cargo. But now, surprisingly enough, rogue model loot I can pass to people. What else was it? There's anything that I can get on a ship, period, I can pass to anybody. And I don't understand why nobody on this game ever thought about the concept of a pass. Everybody thinks about stealing. Shoot, on this game, token space, it's hit and miss sometimes. We kind of have an understanding right now where we're not hitting this token space anyway. But I just don't understand why take and get. If you're at war with somebody because they've wronged you, I mean, I guess I get that. But just to go out and to just rain hell on every single system systematically. I'm going to go here and kill everybody. 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 Just because I just don't understand that. I mean, it's like, what kind of show did they watch? Why are they even playing this game? But I'm hoping that once more people see that you can pass stuff like that and actually assist these smaller players and stuff, maybe more teams, more people will start to rethink how they do allies and how they do their poaching and stuff. If you dwarf so many people that are in the 40s range and 50s range and stuff, if you dwarf them or you stifle their I don't know, I just feel like it's going to be problematic. The whole server is going to be weaker because of it. I feel like the biggest strength that you could have is to have your battles, have your fights and stuff, but have some things be like some kind of spoken agreement or something to let the kids be the kids or something. I don't know. But that's just my take on it. I hope this helps. And I hope that the world can change a little bit now that you can pass stuff in this game. There's no other video on the internet that says that. There's nowhere on the internet that says that. I'm your source. This is Rogue as Fuck. Peace.